Part 10. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 91. Zhao Fei burst into tears, her soft body kept trembling in front of Li Xingguo, her plump were of the highest quality, and she trembled with hot spring waves. After you, why did you bully me? Also, why should I bully you? I actually dropped your cell phone, which seems to make no sense at all. I'm sorry, Zhao Fei, I'll compensate you for your cell phone. Li Xingguo wanted to pay her a mobile phone. Zhao Fei couldn't believe her ears. Is what you said true? You are so fierce, will you buy me a mobile phone? At this time, what Zhao Fei said was a little naive and a little doubtful. Li Xingguo could see that Zhao Fei, a girl who had played alternative games with Dainan for a while, actually had not experienced much. Since your phone was broken by me, I have to give you a new one. This is my principle as a human being. Zhao Fei usually sells alcohol at the Menfei Yang disco. It is not easy to make money. She doesn't want to buy a new mobile phone by herself. Since Li Xingguo broke it, he should pay for it. Okay, you can buy it now. There is a premise. If you call the police, not only will you not be able to do anything to me, but you will also lose a new mobile phone, Li Xingguo said. I won't call the police, go and buy it. Zhao Fei thought to herself, if Dainan was in the mood to send me a text message at this time, I wouldn't be able to receive it, and I would be very anxious. Although the relationship between each other is very tense, Zhao Fei is still full of fantasies about Dainan. It may be that the alternative games in the past made her too comfortable, and she is still intoxicated by it. Through this special method, Li Xingguo found an opportunity to buy a mobile phone for Zhao Fei, and he would definitely perform well. Li Xingguo didn't rush out immediately to buy a cell phone. He went to Lin Feng's partition room first and laughed at Lin Feng. If Li Xingguo laughed so wildly and arrogantly at Lin Feng in the past, Lin Feng might punch him in the past and make him laugh, but now Lin Feng has a good impression of Li Xingguo, but I feel that Li Xingguo is laughing at this time. Kind of cute. A person you think hateful may be cute to others, and a person you look cute may be hateful to others. This is what Lin Feng's ex-girlfriend Shen Bingqian said to him when he was a sophomore. Lin Feng didn't take it seriously at the time, but at this moment, he suddenly thought of it and felt that it was quite reasonable. Lin Feng was very puzzled and said with a smile, I seem to have heard crying just now. Seeing how you laughed like this, you wouldn't use such a short time just now to force Zhao Fei on the overlord, right? No, I'm going to take it slow with Zhao Fei. I was friendly at first, then violent. Li Xingguo said all his performances. Lin Feng was very helpless, and said with a smile, dude, since you want to charge Zhao Fei, then I can only wish you good luck. You like to challenge high difficulty so much, others also no way. What kind of phone do you think I should buy her? If you're happy, you can buy her a luxury mobile phone worth $10,000, but I think it's enough for you to buy her a Love Crazy 32G. I think so too. Li Xingguo felt that Zhao Fei might not know what she was looking for. Even if she spent tens of thousands of dollars to buy her a luxury mobile phone, she might think that the mobile phone was not crazy enough, so she had to buy what she thought was good. Li Xingguo went to buy a mobile phone. Lin Feng lit a cigarette, leaned on the chair and started smoking. His head was huge, and he didn't know what was wrong. Someone knocked on the door and Dainan came. Seeing the distressed expression on Lin Feng's face, Dainan wondered, what's wrong with you? Did Black Rose trouble you again? Lin Feng told her about the farce just now, and Dainan's brows instantly wrinkled. I don't think Li Xingguo really wants to be nice to Zhao Fei, but just wants to play a serious game. Maybe Li Xingguo has never played a girl before, so he wants to play Zhao Fei. Li Xingguo must be serious, because Zhao Fei is exactly like his sixth, the woman who really made his heart hurt, but the problem is, Zhao Fei is still a lover, who knows what will happen to the two of them, Lin Feng said. You kids should be happy. With Li Xingguo training Zhao Fei, you won't be needed. Even if Li Xingguo didn't train Zhao Fei, I never thought about training Zhao Fei. Lin Feng thought to himself, if I were to teach you, I would still be interested. As for Zhao Fei, I have no interest in her. Even if she took off her bust and trousers and stood in front of me, I could do it without looking at her. Although her are huge, although that part of her is moist. But Lin Feng quickly felt that if Zhao Fei really stood naked in front of him, maybe he would take a few glances, because Zhao Fei is a beauty by nature, and he might even try to tease Zhao Fei's wetness. Lin Feng still knows himself well, but sometimes he does things that are so outrageous that he can't even believe it. People are like this, sometimes they fuck, sometimes they don't. The difference is whether the number of is frequent. Dinan, what do you want to do? You can't tell, I want to do it on your lap. There are chairs over there. But I don't want to sit on the chair, I just want to sit on your lap. Dinan's round buttocks landed on Lin Feng's legs, and there was warmth in the softness, making Lin Feng's body even more upright. Lin Feng just hugged Dinan gently, and didn't carelessly touch her body. After a while, he said, you don't plan to go to Mengfi Yang Disco to be the lead dancer in the future. You have to find something for yourself to do. After all, you have to earn money to support yourself. I want to open a store, be a small boss first, and then slowly develop, maybe become a big boss in the future, but I don't have much money. It's good to have an idea. Where do you want to open a store and what do you want to run? I want to open a store near Beijing Normal University, selling accessories and handbags. Can you do it? Yes, but the stores near Beijing Normal University are very expensive. The annual rent of about 20 square meters will cost more than 100,000 yuan, Lin Feng said. Dinan was silent for a while and said, let's not talk about this for now. There are so many messy things. I plan to calm myself down first, and then make plans after the Spring Festival. Dinan wanted Lin Feng to partner with her to open a store, but she didn't dare to say it. She didn't know if Lin Feng, an online writer, was interested in starting a small business. Does Lin Feng, who doesn't have much savings, have the courage to invest in business? Li Xingguo is back. He bought Zhao Fei a white Love Crazy 32G mobile phone. Zhao Fei was surprised when she saw the phone costing several $1,000s. What came back is such a high-end phone. Li Xingguo could see Zhao Fei's excitement and said with a smile, do you like it? I like it very much, but can you tell me? Why did you buy me such a good phone? Because I dropped your phone just now. But the phone you bought is better than the phone you dropped. Since it's compensation, you must show sincerity. It's a sin to disappoint a beautiful woman like you. I'm a very responsible man, and what I don't like the most is to disappoint women. Li Xingguo has said this to women many times before, but he always disappoints women. When a woman truly falls in love with him, she is basically kicked by him. It's like a person is climbing a tree. Just as he is about to reach for the fruit, he is slapped in the face. That kind of fruit that is easily accessible but not eaten is unpleasant, not to mention that he has been toyed with many times before. For those beauties who dated Li Xingguo, the fruit they wanted was a marriage certificate, not just his thing. Otherwise, any woman who had a deep relationship with him would get the fruit, and Li Xingguo would always be rude to those women. Now that I think about it, Li Xingguo had the most times on his 6th term, because it was very comfortable to do that with the 6th term, and it felt extremely good to have sex, but her 6th term was also the most miserable. From his he hardly got any money in his hands, because the 6th term rarely asked him for money and things, but the 6th term paid the most. But his 6th had married another man and is now a mother. Wait a while, don't go anywhere, I'll be back in 10 minutes. Zhao Fei glanced at Li Xingguo's face and walked out. She knew that Dinan was in Lin Feng's room because she heard Dinan's voice from Lin Feng's room. What Zhao Fei thought before knocking on the door was, Lin Feng, if it weren't for you, Dainan and I wouldn't be able to do this. Dainan and I would continue to use electric rods, continue to be happy, the sun is still bright, and life is still beautiful, but now, I am in so much pain. Hearing the knock on the door, Dainan whispered, it must be Zhao Fei, should I be more aggressive towards her? It is necessary, Lin Feng said. Zhao Fei came in, holding the mobile phone Li Xingguo bought for her, and repeated what happened just now before saying, Dainan, although you are a woman, in my heart, you are my man. If you say, I shouldn't want the phone that Li Xingguo bought, I'll give it back to him. Zhao Fei, remember it for me. You and I have nothing to do with me anymore. Don't ask me about your troubles in the future. What are you? Get out of here, Dainan said coldly. Zhao Fei didn't get out immediately, instead she cried aggrievedly, her soft body trembled, and her tears kept flowing. Go away. The moment Dainan got up, she hit Zhao Fei's thigh with a kick. Zhao Fei's body staggered and almost fell to the ground. If she hadn't grasped tightly enough, Love Crazy 32G would have flown out and fell to the ground. Let's go, Dainan, you are ruthless. I never thought that you are such a heartless person. Don't think that if I leave you, you will not be able to live. I will live well, and I will let you see it. Zhao Fei glared at Dainan fiercely, and walked out embarrassed. Tears welled up in Dainan's eyes, so towards Zhao Fei, her heart would definitely be uncomfortable. After all, she and Zhao Fei were in chaos together. Lin Feng, kiss me. Why did you let me kiss you again? You think I'm dirty? No, Lin Feng said. Dainan's lips are rosy, Dainan's mouth is smooth, and Dainan's long tongue is flexible. Every time he kissed Dainan, he would be very happy. Lin Feng kissed Dainan's red lips again, and the kiss went on like a raging fire for more than 10 minutes. Li Xingguo proposed to make a friend with Zhao Fei. After he emphasized that he was an ordinary friend, Zhao Fei agreed. At the same time, Zhao Fei also wanted to use this method to cheer up Nan. Li Xingguo wanted to take Zhao Fei out to see a movie right now. Zhao Fei wanted to go, she wanted to make Dainan angry as fast as possible, but she still did not agree. I am tired and want to lie down for a while. Li Xingguo didn't propose to lie down with Zhao Fei. He left Zhao Fei's partition room and went to Lin Feng's partition room. After chatting for about 10 minutes, he left. Another day. It was very windy and a little cold. In such weather, staying in the partition room will make you feel very comfortable, because it is cold outside, and the partition room has heating and is not frozen. People like to sleep on rainy days because the room is not leaking, and it is easier to fall asleep with a feeling of gloating over the misfortune. Lin Feng wanted to buy a bag for Wang Wei, a female college student. From the point of view of purity, he wanted to do this because after offending Ye Zi and being beaten, he stayed at Wang Wei's house for a few days, and Wang Wei took good care of him. From the point of view of impurity, it is because he wanted to use the opportunity of delivering the package to contact Wang Wei. He wanted to kiss Wang Wei a little bit, and he wanted to touch Wang Wei a little bit. Lin Feng even has the heart to fall in love with Wang Wei. If he and Wang Wei become a relationship, it will be a good story in the circle of classmates. At that time, many classmates will say that Lin Feng and Shen Bingqian were originally a couple, but in the end, Lin Feng and Shen Bingqian were married. Roommate Wang Wei is married. Wang Wei is very beautiful and has a good temperament, and she can do it well, but Lin Feng doesn't know if Wang Wei is interested in falling in love with him. From a friend's point of view, Lin Feng is very iron to Wang Wei, and Wang Wei is also very iron to Lin Feng, but it is hard to say whether this iron can be turned into ambiguity. Hold on tight. In the end, what kind of bag should I buy for Wang Wei? Lin Feng is willing to give up 1,000 yuan to buy a bag for Wang Wei. Basically, he can buy a bag of good quality and style. Someone knocked on the door, and Lin Feng knew immediately that it was Dainan who was knocking on his door. Lin Feng opened the door and saw Dainan in a rose-red dress. Her long hair was also rose-red, and her whole body was a rose-red. Lin Feng, the weather is quite cold, and it's very cool to eat hot pot. I'll invite you to eat hot pot at noon. I'll treat you to another day. I'm afraid it won't work today, I'm going out, Lin Feng said with a smile. It's such a cold day, it's windy, you're not typing at home, where are you going out? I want to buy a bag for my female classmate Lin Feng. Deo welcome readers to come and read, the latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all at Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 92. According to Dainan, Black Rose should be a very beautiful woman. I don't know what she looks like. A plump and graceful woman appeared in Lin Feng's mind, but that woman's face was blurred. Lin Feng was very scared, and his back felt a little cold. Lin Feng, run away. Where did you run to? Although Lin Feng liked Beijing very much, he really wanted to run away. Go to Beijing or Shijiazhuang. If you want to run, don't run farther. If I run to Beijing, it means I didn't run. Forget it, I'll go to Yunnan province and find a tongue to cross the border from there, Lin Feng said. Dainan threw himself into Lin Feng's arms and cried, his full chest kept colliding with Lin Feng's body, and choked up, it's all my fault, you kill me. If I kill you, I'll run away with the murder case on my back. Not only the Black Roses are looking for me, but the police are looking for me too. Black and White are both attacking me. Can I still live? Lin Feng laughed. When are you still in the mood to laugh? Dainan felt that Lin Feng's smile just now was very light, and looked at him in amazement. Lin Feng, my brother, what do you think? I gave up, so it's easy. Aren't you afraid of breaking the novel? This is what I'm most afraid of. What can I do about it? I'm going to find Black Rose. I'll go with you, Dainan said. Don't go. I'll go. Don't make trouble, be careful, I'll slap you. If you don't go, I might be fine. If you go, I'm going to have an accident. Lin Feng thought so. When he got to Hey Rose, if Hey Rose didn't really want to beat him up, he would take a few hits. If he saw that the momentum was not right, he would fight back. Lin Feng even had the heart to kill Hey Rose. Standing on the side of the auxiliary road, the cold wind blew on his face. Lin Feng didn't know what was wrong with him, but he had offended the Black Rose that was flourishing in the underground world. If the monk Shangyuna had moved out when they had a conflict in the past, this might not have happened. It's a blessing, not a disaster, it's a disaster, it can't be avoided. Maybe even if he moved out at that time, he will encounter other things now. For example, his thing may swell up for unknown reasons. Ask the male doctor will say yours. That thing is not sick, ask the female doctor said that your thing is sick, but you will be fine if you hit me a few times. An empty taxi drove over, and Lin Feng put his hand down the moment he stretched out his hand. The driver had a tendency to turn around, but he quickly adjusted his direction and drove away. Lin Feng walked to the side again and called Li Xingguo. Lin Feng and Li Xingguo had an unpleasant relationship in the past, but they were reconciled. Friends. Seeing that the call was from Lin Feng, Li Xingguo immediately picked it up. Why did you remember to call me? Do you have something for me to help you with? You really guessed it right, I offended Black Rose. Which Black Rose? Is it the girl with dark hair, the girl with dark skin, or the girl with black fungus? I haven't seen it yet. It's Black Rose, the female owner of Menfei Yang Disco, Lin Feng said. You offended her? How did you offend her? That woman is very cruel. You got into trouble, Li Xingguo said anxiously. Where are you? I'll find you. It's just outside the community where I live. Whether or not Li Xingguo can help him, Lin Feng is very grateful. After all, Li Xingguo did not shirk. When Lin Feng was waiting for Li Xingguo to come over, he was always watching what was going on around him. Maybe Black Rose sent someone over when he called him and could attack him at any time. A few very strong young people walked in his direction. He immediately raised his vigilance and was ready to take action at any time. If he wanted to pass, he would pass by himself. He didn't want these people to catch him. Lin Feng soon found out that he was a little nervous. These strong men didn't come to catch him, they were just passing by. Li Xingguo drove over, and after getting out of the car, Li Xingguo patted Lin Feng on the shoulder. "Dude, it's not that I told you that you didn't write your novel well. What are you messing with Black Rose? I'm surprised, why did you mess with her?" Lin Feng has not yet decided whether to tell Li Xingguo about Dainan and Zhaofei, because it involves Dainan's privacy. Zhaofei is very hateful. Her privacy may not be conservative, but Dainan's privacy should still be kept. As for the reason, I'll tell you later. Now I don't want to say anything. Maybe you will think that my friend is not happy, but I also have difficulties. Lin Feng looked very embarrassed. Come on, if you don't want to tell me, I won't ask. Li Xingguo thought to himself, I'm afraid some things will be understood after seeing Black Rose. Even if you don't want me to know, I will know soon. Lin Feng sat in Li Xingguo's car and rushed towards Menfei Yang Disco. When he arrived, Lin Feng called Hey Rose, and Hey Rose quickly walked out accompanied by a few people. Her beautiful face reveals a unique charm, her wheat-colored skin is very convincing, her long rose-red hair is wild, her plump are very seductive, her slender and graceful body is very hot, and Black Rose is a very beautiful beauty. Black Rose is 32 years old this year, but she is already a fierce man with a fortune of over 100 million. She has 3 subordinates, among which Menfei Yang Disco is only one of them, and it is also the place that really made her fortune. Mentioning some high-end nightclubs in Beijing, Menfei Yang Disco will inevitably be mentioned, and the name of Black Rose is linked to Menfei Yang Disco. There are many top-level nightclubs in Beijing, and the consumption level is very high, but the Menfei Yang Disco, which can only be regarded as the upper middle level of consumption, is definitely qualified to be among them. The reason is very simple. The owner of this disco, Black Rose, is very special. The characters, with a large number of subordinates and a strong network of relationships, are quite fierce. The reason why she is said to be fierce is because she is indeed fierce, not the kind of bluffing fierce, but the authentic kind of fierce. When Lin Feng saw Black Rose's head, she had already admitted that she was a top-notch beauty. The fiery and charm made him indescribable, and it was easy to stimulate the original impulse of men. I don't know how many men have been stimulated by Black Rose. So tender on the outside. Although Lin Feng was very nervous, his body still reacted instinctively. Fortunately, his pants were not very thin, otherwise Hey Rose would have discovered the clues. Sister Hey, I'm Lin Feng's friend. I learned that he offended you, so I came with him. I didn't mean anything else. Don't get me wrong. From what Li Xingguo said, Lin Feng could hear it. As the son of the owner of the Jinwu Center, Li Xingguo was also quite afraid of Black Rose, which did not rule out the possibility that Li Xingguo had Black Rose clean up before. Hey Rose's eyes have always been fascinated, but her smile is a little cruel. Her eyes swept from Li Xingguo's face and fell on Lin Feng's face. I'm afraid I just called you just called Li Xingguo, it seems that you scared me. I really want to find someone to support you, but you are looking for someone who can scare me, it's useless to find him. Lin Feng was a little panicked, and he could see it too. It was really ineffective to find Li Xingguo, but Lin Feng was very grateful that Li Xingguo could come with him at the risk of being repaired by Black Rose. Menfei Yang Disco is very large, with 3 floors, each floor has an area of more than 1,000 square meters. The first floor is a small bar and coffee shop with different characteristics, and the second floor is a disco and VIP room. The third floor is the fitness center and sauna. Black Rose's room was on the second floor. It was a very luxurious suite. When she walked to the door of the suite, several people who followed Black Rose avoided him. Black Rose walked in with Lin Feng and Li Xingguo. There were 3 people sitting on the sofa. Among them were 2 women and a man. The 2 women were very beautiful and graceful, and they should all be under the age of 25. Serene eyes sharp. Lin Feng didn't know who these 3 people were, but Li Xingguo knew that the 3 of them were the 3 masters around Black Rose. They were all very powerful. Li Xingguo didn't know whether Lin Feng had the ability to defeat the 3 of them. The 3 of them went together, and Lin Feng would most likely be sad. Li Xingguo, Li Xiao, before I clean up Lin Feng, I want to clean up you first. Do you have any opinions? Sister He, as long as you're happy, you can clean up if you want. Even if you find someone to beat me, I'll accompany you with a smile. Li Xingguo really had a smile on his face. I don't want to find someone to beat you this time, I'm going to beat you myself. Black Rose walked over with graceful steps, showing a very hot smile, and slapped Li Xingguo twice in the face. Clap! It was very loud, blood spurted out of Li Xingguo's nostrils, and his face was swollen, very embarrassed. Lin Feng was very distressed because Li Xingguo was beaten for him. Through the way He Rose slapped the face just now, Lin Feng could see that He Rose knew Kung Fu, and her Kung Fu was not weak, so she could be regarded as a master. Go wash quickly. Black Rose didn't intend to continue repairing Li Xingguo, so Li Xingguo hurried to the bathroom and washed his face. Lin Feng knew that when He Rose slapped Li Xingguo just now, it was mainly for him to see. Even if he offered to slap Li Xingguo just now, I'm afraid He Rose would not agree. Are you good at fighting? Black Rose made a very intoxicated voice. This woman's voice was magnetic and sweet. Actually, I'm not very good at fighting, but I haven't met anyone who is particularly good at fighting. Just now, my friend Li Xingguo called you Black Sister, then I'll call you Black Sister too. If you think I'm not qualified to call you Black Sister, then I'll call you Boss Black Rose. Although Lin Feng was a little flustered, what he said was relatively calm. You can call me Miss He. Sister He, let me go, I'm just a small person, I'm really afraid of you, Lin Feng said. It's useless to just be soft. If it's that simple, I'll let you go, and what are you asking you to do? You've already been soft on me on the phone. He Rose walked around Lin Feng with graceful steps. Lin Feng felt that He Rose's leg could kick towards him at any time. He Rose's knee could push towards his thing at any time. Lin Feng was not quite sure whether he should dodge if He Rose suddenly attacked, and if he dodged, would it further anger He Rose? 2 ways for you, either get through between my legs, or fight the 3 of them. It seemed that he was a little too bullying. Lin Feng's face sank. Even if He Rose was a delicate and charming woman, even if the smell between He Rose's legs was very good, Lin Feng would not drill between her legs. Go out, even if you die here tonight, you won't do that. I'll fight with the 3 of them. But I have a request that the 3 of them can't go together. Lin Feng paused for a moment and said, Sister He, you are a very prominent figure in the underground world of Beijing. I don't think you want to be bullied. Human reputation. Then you're wrong. I often bully people. I'm not afraid of being told that I bully people, and I want to bully you tonight. Black Rose showed a fascinated smile again. Lin Feng really wanted to slap He Rose and make her smile instantly rigid, but he couldn't be so impulsive. But don't worry, I won't let the 3 of them play together. I will let them fight you one by one. Before the fight starts, it is necessary for me to introduce you to who they are. See. This skin Snow White, a beautiful and hot woman, is by man, one of my 3 masters. As for what kind of kung fu she is good at, I don't need to tell you, you will experience it later. This iceberg beauty is Bing Chen, this very masculine man, his name is Sirius. If you can completely defeat the 3 of them, you can walk out of here openly. If you lose, I am afraid you will be disabled, He Rose said. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Suk Feng. Chapter 93. Dine together, I invite you. What do you want to eat? Except for the Korean flavor, you can eat everything else, Lin Feng said with a smile. Okay, go to the barbecue restaurant over there. The taste there is very similar to the barbecue restaurant near our university. I have eaten it a few times, and I miss it very much. It was Wang Wei who walked in front again, and Lin Feng walked in the back with a somewhat rambling pace. Maybe he was walking very casually at this time, and there were actually a few good-looking girls who gave him a few glances. The second floor of this restaurant is full of private rooms, and there are large tables that can be placed. Lin Feng and Wang Wei sat on the first floor lobby against the wall. Wang Wei began to seriously appreciate the bag that Lin Feng gave her, both inside and out. Look, I'm more satisfied than before. It's good, I'll put it on the shoulder tomorrow. Put it on the shoulder. When you were with Shen Bingqian before, you never gave her such a good bag. At that time, I spent my parents' money to study, but now it's different. I make my own money, Lin Feng said. Hurry up and be honest, you gave me the bag, are you thinking about something else? Wang Wei looked at him with a smile, but Lin Feng found the sharpness in Wang Wei's smiling eyes. I didn't think about anything else. Really not? No. Lin Feng said in his heart, I like you, you are my girlfriend, we both know the bottom line, you are my girlfriend, I don't have to look for you, you don't have to look for it, it saves time and effort and is appropriate. Wang Wei is very smart, even if Lin Feng doesn't admit it, she can feel that Lin Feng likes her. This kind of mood is very different from before. Before, they just played together, even if Lin Feng was impulsive because of her body, it was just a physiological reaction, and Lin Feng didn't want her to be his girlfriend. When he was in college, Lin Feng might have been impulsive because of the different women he saw. The graceful ones made him impulsive, the charming ones made him impulsive, the fair skin made him impulsive, and the black silk of the grid made him impulsive, but he only I love Shen Bingqian. When she was in love, Shen Bingqian was very concerned about whether Lin Feng was single to her. She once tested Lin Feng's loyalty to her with a love lie detector rumored on the internet. Just kidding, the test results proved that he was half-hearted, with at least 9 girls in his heart at the moment. Lin Feng was stunned at the time. He suggested restarting the computer and retesting, but the test results still said that he was a half-hearted person, but the number of girls in his heart had changed from 9 to 3. Lin Feng said that this software is too nonsense to be trusted. Shen Bingqian said, but the 2 test results said you were half-hearted towards me, hurry up and say, do you mean that to Wang Wei? Lin Feng said, no. Shen Bingqian said, you have never imagined Wang Wei. Lin Feng said, no. For the next week, Shen Bingqian's heart was very entangled, and she didn't pay much attention to Lin Feng. She even went to the study room alone at night, but after a week, Shen Bingqian gradually ignored the test results of that software. Wang Wei felt that it was different now. Lin Feng seemed to be pursuing her, which made Wang Wei feel panic. Her relationship with Lin Feng was very good, but she never thought of being Lin Feng's girlfriend. It's not that she doesn't look down on Lin Feng, but she just thinks it's inappropriate. Wang Wei is a very principled person and thinks that some people around her can't fall in love casually even if they are good. I want to drink beer. Okay, I'll drink with you. Lin Feng seemed very reluctant, as if he didn't know how to drink if it wasn't to accompany Wang Wei. In fact, his heart was at ease, and it was easier to be ambiguous after drinking. At this time, what Lin Feng thought was that there might be a drama. Although the sun had already set, Lin Feng felt that the sun was very bright. Although the cold wind was blowing, Lin Feng felt as warm as summer. One of the important reasons is that the quality of the central air conditioning in this restaurant is very good. Several dishes came up, and there was a bottle of liquor. After clinking glasses, Lin Feng took a big sip, and Wang Wei took a small sip. Don't say it, it's really a bit like when I was in college, but at that time, if I had dinner with you, Shen Bingqian would always be there. Every time Shen Bingqian likes to show her affection to you in front of me, it's like I did it for me, for fear that I would you away, but I really didn't have that thought for you. My friendship with you is very iron and will not be corroded by love. What is this nonsense? Not to mention the scene at that time, Shen Bingqian was indeed wary of Wang Wei, for fear that Wang Wei would take away Lin Feng. Lin Feng is now eager to let the friendship between him and Wang Wei be corroded by love, and produce a love based on friendship. Lin Feng has been seriously understanding Wang Wei's state of mind, and he found that Wang Wei still doesn't mean that, and will not accept him just because he accepts his bag. Bags are her food, but people are not her food. Drink, you boy. Touch one. After Lin Feng and Wang Wei clinked glasses, they took a sip of wine, and then realized that what Wang Wei said about your kid had other meanings, as if he saw through his intentions and was helpless. Lin Feng deliberately looked a lot more unrestrained, and even looked around with free and easy eyes, and said with a smile, "The business of this restaurant is good, I will open a restaurant later." Aren't you planning to write novels until you get old? Why do you have the idea of opening a restaurant again? You can also write novels when you open a restaurant. Our company's writers include restaurant owners. They wrote the book 5-Star Hotel in Huaju, which is very popular. It is estimated that the author's house is a ramen restaurant, and the 5-star hotel is from Yiyan. Let you be right, Lin Feng said. Both of them laughed. The atmosphere was much more active than before, and the drinking speed was also faster. Although Wang Wei didn't mean that to him, drinking was unexpectedly bold, and she had the idea of getting drunk with him. Finished a bottle of liquor. Wang Wei drank a lot more than Lin Feng. Lin Feng had no problem, but Wang Wei's body had begun to float, not drunk but on the verge of being drunk. Lin Feng, take me home. Okay, looking at you, I don't know how to drink less. I'm rushing to drink with me. Are you getting drunk? Lin Feng complained about Wang Wei, but his heart was very comfortable. He even hoped that Wang Wei would be more drunk, so that when he proposed to make Wang Wei his girlfriend, Wang Wei might agree more. Sitting in the back row of the taxi together, the scene in front of Wang Wei kept spinning, and she quickly leaned on Lin Feng. Lin Feng hugged Wang Wei's waist. Wang Wei's figure is great, her are full, her hips are round, her waist is slender. Wang Wei is a very fleshy girl, not that a kind of backbone that makes people feel poor. In Lin Feng's aesthetics, if a woman is so thin that she looks fat even in the smallest trousers, then it is basically impossible to ask for it. Some women have very beautiful faces, but it doesn't feel good to do that with her. Some women have ordinary faces, but it feels great to do that with her. After you do it once, you will miss it and think about it again. Do this several times. Inexperienced men care more about a woman's face, and experienced men care more about a woman's and buttocks. Love is made, not seen. Wang Wei's house has arrived. Lin Feng is very familiar with this place. Every time he comes here, he can feel the warmth, because Wang Wei is a girl who can always make him feel warm. Playing together in college felt warm. Later, after he broke up with Shen Bingqian, Wang Wei comforted him and made him feel warm. At this time, he hugged Wang Wei and sat on the sofa, which made him even warmer. Lin Feng kissed Wang Wei's face and said with a smile, "Xiao Wei, look how drunk you are." "Am I drunk?" "You are drunk," Lin Feng said. "Actually, I'm very sober." "I ask you, do you really want to fall in love with me?" Wang Wei said. "How to answer? It's better to tell the truth if he's prevarication in the past." Lin Feng feels that if he prevaricates at this time, he will be a little sorry for Wang Wei, and it will leave a hypocritical impression on Wang Wei, which will not benefit him at all. Xiao Yi, we are very familiar with each other. We used to play together, but now we are both struggling. I don't have a girlfriend, and you don't have a boyfriend. You are my girlfriend, and I will treat you well. Lin Feng has officially confessed to Wang Wei, and this is the first time he has confessed to her since he knew Wang Wei. Wang Wei first blew a breath of alcohol into Lin Feng's face, and then burst out laughing. Lin Feng knew that Wang Wei didn't laugh because she was happy, but because she thought it was absurd. Lin Feng felt that his confession to Wang Wei would not have any good results. In order not to be too embarrassed to hear Wang Wei's next words, Lin Feng lit a cigarette and started smoking. In the smoke, the beauty that Lin Feng imagined gradually became blurred. It was like a thirsty person saw a clear river, but when he walked forward 100 meters, he found that the river was in the river, very far away. After Wang Wei laughed, she stared at Lin Feng's face. She looked at Lin Feng's face very seriously for about 10 minutes, and she almost looked at Lin Feng's hair, and then said, "I can give you your body once, and you can't talk about love. When you and Shen Bingqian didn't break up, you often thought about my body. At that time, you patted my butt. I'll give it to you tonight. After you'll know what it's like to sleep with me. It can be considered that my good friend is worthy of your favor. As for love, don't talk about it. We are more suitable to be friends, and I can't lose your good friend because of love." Lin Feng exhaled another breath of smoke and said a little sadly, "Are you afraid of losing my friend, or do you despise me? If you despise me, say it clearly, lest I continue to fantasize. I can bear it." "What are you talking about, kid? We have been good friends for so many years. Since I lost money playing the warrants and you helped me, I even regard you as my best friend. I didn't watch it. It's not what you mean. On the contrary, I admire you very much, and I believe that you will be a very rich man in the future, allowing your future wife to live in a mansion and drive a famous car. Didn't you always want to live in a mansion and drive a famous car? The fat and water don't flow to outsiders. You can be my girlfriend, then marry me and have children for me," Lin Feng said. "You wait a minute, I'm going to the bathroom. You want to vomit?" "No." Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 94. Wang Wei went to the bathroom, quickly unbuttoned her pants and sat on the toilet. She didn't stand up immediately after booing. She was in pain at this time and didn't know how to face Lin Feng. Lin Feng is a good person, a person who makes her admire more and more. In the past, Wang Wei did not think that Lin Feng had the potential to make a fortune. As for living a small life, Wang Wei felt that Lin Feng did have the potential to become a rich man. Because he was too persistent. But in Wang Wei's view, some people are destined not to be in love, such as Lin Feng. She wants to be friends with Lin Feng for life, not lovers. If she becomes a lover and fails in love, can she still be a friend? Even if we still have contact at that time, the mood is completely different from before. Absolutely not. This kid must be rejected. After thinking about this problem clearly, Wang Wei wiped the wet place with a tissue, lifted up her trousers and then walked out. "You stayed in the bathroom for almost 20 minutes, I thought you fell into the toilet," Lin Feng said. "Fuck you, you kid, you didn't give me any peace of mind, you just confessed to me, but I want to reject you. I won't fall in love with you, I won't be your girlfriend. If you are very sad, if you really want to run wild, then get out of the way, and if you want to be friends with me in the future, then do it, don't pull it down." Wang Wei hesitated for a moment and said, "If you have always been curious about my body, you really want to have that one time with me. What's it like to try? Then come, I'll take off my pants and let you go." Wang Wei is very bold. She didn't do this to any man. It was the first time in her life that she said these words to a man, and this man was Lin Feng. Lin Feng is more anxious than before. If he gets on Wang Wei, he will know what Wang Wei's body is like. He will definitely be very comfortable, but after getting on, will Wang Wei despise him? If he still doesn't go to Wang Wei this time, it means that he has lost 2 chances to go to Wang Wei. I'm afraid there will be no chance in the future. When both of them have turned into gray-haired old people decades later, he still does not know what it's like to do that with Wang Wei. If I had another shot at that time, it would not be so comfortable. At that time, Wang Wei's period was gone, and the water had dried up, so it would definitely not be comfortable. Lin Feng, do you want to come here once? If you want, we'll go to bed, if you don't want to, you can leave. Gone. Lin Feng opened the door and walked out. When Lin Feng disappeared from the room, Wang Wei's heart beat faster than before. I thought Lin Feng would frantically throw her on the bed and take her first time rudely. I thought that Lin Feng would hurt her through strenuous exercise, and I thought that her first daughter, Hong, would be stained on the sheets. But Lin Feng actually left. Wang Wei thought, Lin Feng, I found that your kid is getting more and more individual, and I want to be a lifelong friend with you too much. Maybe you will understand in the future that a close friend is even more important than a lover. But there is a very practical problem. Lovers are entitled to possess each other's bodies, but this is not the case between friends. Helping a woman many times, but never having sex, this is the sadness between ordinary friends. Hurting a woman many times, but also having many times, this is the sense of superiority between lovers. Wang Wei was actually quite interesting to Lin Feng. She was actually going to give Lin Feng a chance to have with her, and continue to be an ordinary friend after she got married, but that kid Lin Feng actually didn't. When Lin Feng returned to his partition room, it was very late. He had no other mood, but he really wanted to continue drinking, but he didn't want to go out to buy wine again, so he could only endure this urge. He felt that this ordinary person was great again, and he also knew that this greatness was not good for him. He did not taste the taste of Wang Wei's body, and he wondered if there would be such an opportunity in the future. He even thought of a very absurd situation, that is, he could take a taxi and go to Wang Wei's house, and then said, "Take it off quickly, I decided to you once, if he goes back again, Wang Wei may not be willing to take off his pants well, you might even scold him." Hearing the knock on the door, Lin Feng guessed that it was Dainan. When he opened the door, he saw Dainan in a night dress standing outside his door holding a bottle of liquor and a bag of peanuts. Surging strongly, Lin Feng never thought that Dainan, a woman who used to play a man in a love game, could bring him such warmth. Some warmth is unreachable, and some warmth is sudden. "Come." Dainan walked in, her night dress was fluttering, and Lin Feng could see the traces of Dainan's trousers. She seemed to be wearing pink trousers today. Dainan sat on the chair, opened the liquor and poured it into 2 disposable cups, then tore open the bag of peanuts and smiled, "Since you came back so late, Wang Wei rejected you." "She rejected me. I said you bought liquor and peanuts and waited for me to come back after being rejected. I'm waiting for you to come back. If Wang Wei agrees to you, it will be a congratulation. If you refuse, it will be a comfort. In short, the liquor and peanuts I bought are useful. Come and touch one." Dainan's smile is very charming, the smell of lily perfume is diffused. Lin Feng and Dainan took a sip of white wine after clinking glasses. Men all want to find a suitable girlfriend, and women all want to find a suitable boyfriend, so it is normal for Wang Wei to refuse me. She must think that I am not a very suitable choice, so she will not choose me. Have you ever thought about finding a rich girlfriend, so that you can save 30 years of struggle? The moment you marry her, it is the beginning of your enjoyment. You have to be yourself. If you don't have the skills, you will only serve women on the bed. Even if you find a rich girlfriend, there will be no good results. In fact, the concept of the right match is somewhat reasonable. I will not marry an ordinary man like me, everyone is only for a lifetime, and the rich and eldest lady will not waste her whole life, Lin Feng said. What kind of person do you think my boyfriend should be? Dinan asked, a question that was difficult for Lin Feng to answer. Lin Feng drank another sip of white wine, lit a cigarette and smoked 2 sips, then smiled. If you are looking for a man to fall in love with, find someone who knows nothing about your past, otherwise everything you have done in the past will become his handle, and when he gets angry, he will use these handles to attack you violently. Maybe, but if he gets together with me, sooner or later he will learn about my past. You don't have to be too frank. If a person is indiscriminately frank, he will be punished. You can say what you should say, but you can't say what you shouldn't say, Lin Feng said. I will remember your words, because you really regarded me as a friend, and we kissed. Oh, that's fine. Lin Feng was very happy. He had been looking at Dinan's red lips just now, and wanted to kiss her. During the kiss, Lin Feng once again experienced the softness and delicacy of Dinan's red lips and the smooth and dexterous tongue. In the smell of smoke and alcohol, their kiss was very warm and long-lasting. After the kiss, Dinan smiled charmingly. I'm not your girlfriend, and I'm not your lover, but I always play with you. If this makes you uncomfortable, then we won't play ambiguous in the future, and we will be pure and good friends. Purity is nonsense. Purity will make people enjoy nothing. A woman is pure with you, but may not be pure with other men. A woman may take off her pants to other men when she rejects you. In fact, this is a kind of contempt. It can't be too pure, Dinan said. Then don't be too pure, just think that our relationship is very special, an ordinary friend who can play ambiguous, Lin Feng said. Morning. It was almost 10 o'clock that Lin Feng got up. He felt emptiness. He didn't write anything last night. He had to make it up today. It just doesn't work with banknotes. Now Lin Feng can fully support himself and has a small amount of savings, but he will not be lazy because of this. He wants to make his quality of life higher and higher, he wants to make his savings more and more, he even want to own the luxury of gold and diamonds. Some time ago, I saw a very classic Omega mechanical watch in the online shopping mall. If this watch is worn on his wrist, it will be very beautiful, but the price is too expensive for him, costing more than 20,000 yuan. Lin Feng thought, more than 20,000 yuan is too expensive for him now, but when he becomes rich in the future, if he goes to see 20,000 yuan, it will be a very small number, maybe his appetite will be at that time. It's even bigger, and a 20,000 yuan watch is no longer his thing. A little hungry, Lin Feng didn't want to go out to eat breakfast, so he planned to go to the kitchen to cook bread, start coding after eating, and go out until lunchtime. When Lin Feng took the instant noodles to the kitchen, she saw Zhao Fei was spreading eggs. Zhao Fei was wearing a night dress, and obviously she had just woken up. Through the night dress, she could see that she was not wearing underwear, and neither her bust nor panties. Although her nightgown is not transparent, you can still see traces of key parts of the body. Lin Feng, Li Xingguo, and I have started dating. You didn't expect that, after a fight, Li Xingguo and I are about to get together. Are you envious of me? What do you have to envy? But one thing is certain, if you can really get together with Li Xingguo, it will be an earth-shattering good thing for you, maybe you will be a happy woman in the future, seize this opportunity. After listening to Lin Feng's words, Zhao Fei felt very uncomfortable, because she hadn't made up her mind on whether to be Li Xingguo's girlfriend. Now she thinks more about Dinan, and she really wants to continue playing that absurdity with Dinan. Game. It is indeed not easy to make a person who is very obsessed with homosexuality become normal. Zhao Fei spread out the eggs and took them out. Lin Feng shook his head helplessly while cooking the noodles, as if he was dissatisfied with the instant noodles in the pot. In fact, he was dissatisfied with many people and many things, and he really wanted to treat these people who made him depressed. And everything is cooked together. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 96. It was almost 10:30 after eating the noodles, and Lin Feng planned to wait until 12:30 at noon before going out for lunch, so that he could write for 2 hours. The green axis mechanical keyboard began to make a crisp sound again. Lin Feng wrote at a very fast speed at this time, and he wrote more than 1,000 words in 2 hours. Then he minimized the document and walked out. The cold wind blowing on his face made him feel a little homesick. In fact, his small town was colder than Beijing, but after returning home, he could experience the warmth of home. No matter whether a person succeeds or fails, he has to go home when it is time to go home. Successful people can't stay away all the time, and failure people can't hide outside all the time. Too happy and too depressed are not people's lives. Lin Feng went to the restaurant and ate a bowl of beef noodles. After he came out, he wanted to buy a bottle of Coke. There was a dabbing supermarket not far away, although the affair between Dabbing and Bai Shan was a thing of the past, although the affair between Lin Feng and Bai Shan had also become past tense, but he just doesn't want to take care of the pie business. Lin Feng walked a little longer, went to another supermarket to buy a bottle of Coke, and began to walk along the street he was already familiar with, drinking Coke in the cold wind. His steps were a little sloppy but very casual. Lin Feng stepped out of his own beat. Maybe Wang Wei will call him today to comfort him a few words, maybe not, but Lin Feng doesn't plan to call her again because of Wang Wei's rejection. That's the most pointless thing to do. Lin Feng wanted to know what kind of bag Wang Wei was carrying when she went to work today, whether it was her previous bag or the one he bought. He didn't see it, so he could imagine. If Lin Feng sees it, he will be very relieved, because Wang Wei went to work with the bag he gave him today, and he is still very happy. Maybe this is a kind of stinky relief, but it does make the people who paid it heart very happy. In the cold wind, Lin Feng took another sip of Coke. This sip was so cold that he thought of Shen Bingqian. His ex-girlfriend Shen Bingqian can be described as a maverick woman with a beautiful face and a graceful figure. The goal will make men very happy, but also make men very hurt. Lin Feng was injured at first, and then he was relieved. After giving Shen Bingqian a few shots, Lin Feng now doesn't know where Shen Bingqian went. What is certain is that she is still in Beijing, but she doesn't know where she is. Lin Feng won't go to Shen Bingqian, but he may meet Shen Bingqian on the road. Beijing is very big, and Beijing is also very small. Unexpected things can happen at any time. Lin Feng returned to the partition room and just lay on the bed to sleep for a while when his cell phone rang. It was the call from the beautiful landlord Shang Yunjuan, although Lin Feng and the beautiful landlord's sister Shang Yuna had already made a fuss. But he still thinks of Shang Yuna now. He, always thinking about what she does, she wants to kill Lao Tzu with a kitchen knife, but Shang Yuna's graceful figure still flashes in his mind, making him want to take off Shang Yuna's little girl pants move. Sister Shang, what's wrong? What's wrong? What did you say? We haven't had that for days. It's like it's my duty to be with you. I'm not interested. Lin Feng said this, but his body was very straight. At this time, the scene in his mind changed, from Shang Yuna to his monk Shang Yunjuan, a passionate carnival scene. Shang Yunjuan's posture is always very provocative, perhaps because she is a plump and charming woman. She is very provocative when she just lays there. You are really annoying. You don't want to, but I thought about it. Come on, am I at home alone? Are you sure your sister is not here? Lin Feng said. She is not here. Are you sure she won't go back anytime soon? No, she probably won't be back until after 10 o'clock in the evening. She is at the home of a college classmate, Shang Yunjuan said. Lin Feng's tone was very hard just now, which was equivalent to playing tricks on Shang Yunjuan, a charming woman, but he still set off, went to Shang Yunjuan's house, and saw her. Although she was ready to be warm with Lin Feng, what Shang Yunjuan wore was not very revealing. The black tights shaped her slender and plump legs, and the purple long sweater covered her round buttocks, which radiated from her body. The scent of rose perfume came out, her smile was very light but very charming, with a lustful light in her eyes. She flashed at Lin Feng, and smiled charmingly. "Sit down, I'll go make tea." Although Lin Feng was very impulsive at this time, he didn't think that he would immediately become enthusiastic with Shang Yunjuan. He planned to play a little bit of flair before Shang Yunjuan did that. Although the relationship between him and Shang Yunjuan was very chaotic, you can also play the mood that belongs to the two of them. Lovers can talk about love and not love together. With Shang Yunjuan, he can talk about comfort and discomfort, whether it is more comfortable for me to lie in bed or whether I ride on your body and you are more comfortable, all these can be discussed. Shang Yunjuan brewed a pot of flower tea and brought it over, poured it into 2 ceramic teacups, and the two drank tea and chatted. Shang Yunjuan said, "I dreamed that you were married, and then your wife found out about our relationship. She beat me hard, she pulled out a lot of my hair, she beat me bloody, I don't even know who I am anymore." Lin Feng said, "Have you ever dreamed that who am I married? In your dream, what kind of person is my wife?" Shang Yunjuan said, "In my dream, your wife's appearance is vague, but her are big, her legs are very long, when she hit me, her fists were very strong, her chest was shaking, he also scolded me and said, 'You bastard, let you seduce my husband.'" Lin Feng said that since her face is not clear, it means that you didn't dream anything, and that you didn't see this person's face clearly means that this person has never appeared in your dreams. Shang Yunjuan said, "After you get married, are you still with me?" Lin Feng said that my marriage is still very far away, and I estimate that I will not get married until I am 30 years old. Shang Yunjuan said, "What I'm asking is that after you get married, can you answer me directly?" Lin Feng said, "If I marry your sister, I will continue with you, and I will your sister first and then you." After talking here, Shang Yunjuan's face sank, and she said coldly, "Lin Feng, are you tired and crooked? Why are you still thinking about my sister? Don't you see how she treats you? She hates you so much, you are not her thing." Lin Feng wanted to retort Shang Yunjuan strongly, but when he thought that he was going to do that to Shang Yunjuan soon, he didn't slander him, he just said, "I was just joking, you don't need to be so excited, also, don't keep asking me about the future, I don't know what I will be like in the future, and I don't know what I will do in the future. I may not point to the material of the country, but my passionate words are still a little bit." "No problem." Shang Yunjuan was not as angry as before, but Lin Feng's attitude towards Shang Yuna still made her a little worried. In order not to spoil the ambiguous atmosphere, she didn't plan to say anything about it for the time being. Shang Yunjuan didn't want to sit on the sofa anymore. She sat on Lin Feng's lap. Lin Feng felt the softness of Shang Yunjuan's round buttocks and stroked her hands up and down. The two quickly rolled onto the sofa and became enthusiastic, fierce, and wild, making a loud noise. The door opened. Shang Yuna came back, still singing, and she was obviously in a good mood. Seeing the warm scene of Lin Feng and Shang Yunjuan, Shang Yuna screamed and ran out. Both Lin Feng and Shang Yunjuan were frightened and stopped. Shang Yunjuan quickly pushed Lin Feng away and complained, "Why did Yun Na come back at this time? Really? The information you give me is always wrong. When you tell me that she won't come back so early, she always appears suddenly. I sometimes even suspect that you really want your sister to see us." "A warm scene? What are you talking about? You're mad at me, you give it to me." Shang Yunjuan didn't say the word in the end, so Lin Feng didn't have to leave immediately. Shang Yuna just saw a very scene, her heart was beating wildly, she ran to a place almost 100 meters away from the gate of the community in one breath, and stood on the side road to breathe. Shang Yuna hated Lin Feng, but she didn't object to Shang Yunjuan and Lin Feng doing that, but she also didn't want to see the warm scene between them. Shang Yuna's cell phone rang, and seeing that it was Shang Yunjuan's call, she still picked it up and said angrily, "Sister, you and Lin Feng are too hot, I think you two will be too hot within an hour. Don't finish it, hurry up and get busy." "Yuna, listen to what you said. Sister knows you're angry, but she doesn't know that you will come back early. Sister is a hard worker. She has no husband and no children, so you should take more care." Hearing Shang Yunjuan's words, Shang Yuna's heart softened. Even if Shang Yunjuan's current behavior makes her very angry, it cannot be denied that Shang Yunjuan loves her very much. "Always take good care of her. I'll go out to buy something, and I'll be back later." Shang Yuna didn't have anything to buy. She was walking aimlessly on the street, planning to go back in an hour. She was a little cold, but she had to go. A car of about 200,000 yuan drove past along the side road. The glass of the car was pressed down, and a man in his 30s who looked very ordinary whistled at Shang Yuna. "What are you blowing? Driving a car costing about 200,000 yuan, you have the face to whistle at a girl and laugh in panic," Shang Yuna said angrily. The new car had slowed down, but after being ridiculed by Shang Yuna, it suddenly accelerated and drove away. Shang Yunjuan told Lin Feng that Shang Yuna actually went out to buy things and would come back later. Lin Feng knew that Shang Yuna was just making an excuse and didn't want to come back immediately. The weather was very cold and her clothes were a little thin. It will definitely be cold walking on the street. But Lin Feng quickly thought that Shang Yuna was not his. No matter how cold it was, it had nothing to do with him. Even if Shang Yuna was frozen, it was someone else's wife who was frozen, because he was not Shang Yuna's dish. But there is a situation that he is not Shang Yuna's food now, but he may be Shang Yuna's food in the future. Although he and Shang Yuna had a big conflict, even though Shang Yuna used a kitchen knife against him, if one day Shang Yuna is willing to marry him, maybe he is very willing to marry. After all, Shang Yuna is a very beautiful beauty who pursues wealth, but she is decent and savage, but she is kind. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 97. Chapter 101. There are people who are birds and people who are not birds. Lin Feng left with the 100,000 yuan he won. The money he won in this competition is equivalent to his writing more than 3 million words according to his current manuscript fee standard. 100,000 yuan is not a small amount for Lin Feng. It will give him a great sense of accomplishment. Counting the tens of thousands of dollars that Wang Wei has not returned to him, Lin Feng's wealth is now more than 200,000 yuan. If he is very burnt, he can immediately get a car book and buy a second car. A car of about 100,000 yuan, but Lin Feng definitely cannot do such a thing. If Lin Feng has a deposit of more than 1 million yuan, he may buy a car of about 200,000 yuan. If he has a deposit of more than 10 million yuan, I bought a car worth hundreds of thousands or even millions. When I went back to the partition room, Lin Feng put the 100,000 yuan that he won on the small keyboard of the laptop, and smiled lightly at the corners of his mouth, and waited. Tomorrow, he will save all the money. Lin Feng thought about Li Xingguo wanting to invite him to play with foreign girls. At this time, he was thinking of an Indian beauty. If there is a chance in the future, he will not only play with Indian beauty, I also want to play with Dongying women and various European and American women. I heard that the Russian ocean horse is quite powerful. I will have a chance to play in the future. Let his heart rip with his body and let women from different countries rippling with him. The ideal is rippling, the life is rippling, and the character is like a fairy. When he heard the knock on the door, he knew it was Dinan. Lin Feng began to think about whether to put away the 100,000 yuan on the notebook keyboard first. In front of Dinan, Lin Feng showed off. Lin Feng opened the door and saw Dinan in a crimson night dress. At the same time, he also smelled the scent of lily perfume. Although the night dress was not transparent, Lin Feng could see through the plump silhouette. It can be seen that Dinan is not wearing a chest photo at this time. As for whether she is wearing shorts, I can't tell for the time being, because the hem of the night dress is very wide. You are back, you are not injured. No, come in, Lin Feng said. You win. Look. Lin Feng Dao Dinan saw the 100,000 yuan neatly arranged on the small keyboard of the notebook, and exclaimed, a lot of money, AI, you won so much money in a fight with Hong Ying, you might as well spend so much money every day. Have a fight with her. Even if I want to fight her every day, she won't always fight me. If I'm in a hurry, I should use other methods to deal with me. Lin Feng sat on the chair and patted thigh. Dinan quickly sat on Lin Feng's thigh. When Lin Feng's hand touched Chao Dinan's round buttocks, he felt that Dinan was wearing shorts, but she was definitely not wearing a chest photo. In order to verify whether she was wrong, Lin Feng quickly touched Chao Dinan's chest. Lin Feng did not put his hand into Dinan's night dress, but he also clearly verified his eyesight. Dinan was indeed not wearing a chest. He didn't protest Lin Feng's behavior of eating her tofu, and after a while, he trembled. Lin Feng, I beg you, what is it? It's what I told you before, when I opened the store after the Spring Festival, you vote some money. Dinan and Lin Feng talked about investment again, which made Lin Feng very depressed. Although he had more money than before, Lin Feng's father, Lin Feng, who has not yet invested in business, was a father 20 years ago. People who are crazy about doing business, have done various businesses for so many years, but in the end they can only rely on a vegetable shop to make a living. Lin Feng admires his father, because his father is a very good man who is worthy of his wife, worthy of his son, and is worthy of his conscience. Lin Feng, whose father was a failure, gradually found a way to write online novels, but he did not know whether he was the material for business, and he was not sure how talented Dinan was in business. Maybe Dinan he is a person who has no vision. Maybe Dinan is a special loser. If so, no matter how much he voted. If you have a small amount of money, you have to pay for it. It involves the issue of wealth. Lin Feng doesn't want to give Dinan too much face. Even if he may offend Dinan, Lin Feng must tell his true thoughts. Do you want to invest with you, business? I have to think about it during the Spring Festival break. What I can promise you is that if you are very short of money, I can lend you a little bit, and the upper limit is 30,000 yuan. You are so kind, and I'm also very cautious. You have the heart to lend me money. I'm already very moved, but I won't ask you to lend me money. I'll wait for you to figure it out together, even if you end up in the end. I won't blame you for not agreeing to invest in me. You are good enough for me. When Dinan spoke, her round buttocks twisted slightly. She was sitting on Lin Feng's lap. She was so with a twist, it immediately brought a strong stimulation to Lin Feng, making Lin Feng more upright than before. Dinan felt the outline that made her heart tremble, her face flushed, and her breathing became more rapid. I'm afraid she can't hold it anymore. Oh, Lin Feng, I'm sleepy. I'm going back to sleep. You just played with someone and you're tired. Rest early, don't work too hard. Good night. Lin Feng. He didn't want to continue coding. He had just won 100,000 yuan. He could find many excuses to let himself rest for a while. Dinan walked out, but the scent of Dinan's skin was still there, and Lin Feng felt that Dinan was still there. He was still sitting on his lap. The softness and delicacy never left Lin Feng to see it. Just now, Dinan felt very much about his body. His tall and straight made Dinan strongly stimulated. This is a good phenomenon. At least it can be proved that Dinan is no longer a lover. She has a strong interest in men's bodies. There is still more than a month before the Spring Festival, a traditional festival in China, and Lin Feng plans to go home in more than half a month. Lin Feng can actually go home now. He is a professional, and he can be very sexy, but if he goes home and plays everywhere, the efficiency of coding will definitely not be as high as it is now. It snows and the ground is white and snowflakes. Still drifting, it was almost noon. Lin Feng walked out of his partition room and came to the street. His sneakers stepped on the snow, reflecting a string of foot flies and making a creaking sound. Lin Feng looked back and saw, the footprints he stepped on were straight. At the same time, he also saw that Shang Yuna was walking behind him, but not in a straight line with him, as if he was afraid of damaging his feet, and as if he did not want to be with his footprints. Although he and Shang Yuna had a lot of conflicts, he still showed a bright smile to Shang Yuna, as if Shang Yuna was his good friend, not someone who always wanted to fix him and always liked to be mean. The words that stimulated him made Lin Feng find out. Shang Yuna looked very embarrassed. She first stopped, then she stepped slightly faster and walked towards Lin Feng, walking 2 meters away from Lin Feng and said, "You laugh again. Let me take a look." Could it be that the bright smile just moved Shang Yuna? If this is the case, it is better to continue to impress her. Lin Feng showed a very bright smile again, but what Shang Yuna said made him very annoyed. "I'm surprised, you usually smoke so much, why are your teeth not yellowed?" "It's none of your business." Lin Feng didn't want to dump Shang Yuna, so he turned around and walked quickly towards the nearby restaurant, but Shang Yuna pursed her lips and laughed, thinking, "I'm mad at you, you bastard, Lin Feng." Arriving at the restaurant, while watching the recipe and preparing to order, Shang Yuna also came in, as if she did not intend to sit and eat with Lin Feng. When Shang Yuna's was about to fall on the chair beside the other dining table, Lin Feng came in. She shouted, "Yuna, sit here." There were many people around. If Shang Yuna despised Lin Feng on this occasion, it would make him very embarrassed. Shang Yuna thought about it and didn't do that, but got up and left. "Come over and sit across from Lin Feng. You guys want a treat? It's AI who invited you to eat." "What do you want to eat?" Lin Feng said, "Generous enough, what else do you want to eat?" Although this restaurant doesn't have very expensive dishes, but Shang Yuna, who had no problem killing Lin Feng for 3 or 200, immediately decided to do it. She ordered 3 more expensive dishes and used them to beat Lin Feng. She would bleed if she called beauties to eat together in a restaurant. The 3 dishes ordered by Shang Yuna were almost 200. If it was before, Lin Feng would definitely feel distressed. It was too wasteful, but now Lin Feng's mood is different from before. He even added another dish and a soup regardless of whether Shang Yuna wants to drink with him or not. Lin Feng intends to drink some, so he asked for another bottle of 50 yuan of liquor. Although he didn't check out in advance, it is estimated that it will be soon. It's 400 yuan, and a random meal costs 400 yuan. Could it be that Lin Feng's royalties have been raised again? He came here this time to celebrate? Shang Yuna didn't know that Lin Feng and Hong Ying won 100,000 yuan in the competition, so she came up with the idea of raising the price of Lin Feng's royalties. "It's very sad, I don't know if it's because of the snow or something else. Don't be afraid. Even if something happens, there are friends to help you, such as me. Since you asked for wine, I'll accompany you. Let's have a drink together." Shang Yuna did not say if something happened to her, but Lin Feng had already guessed that something happened to her through what she knew about Shang Yuna. Otherwise, even if he asked for wine, Shang Yuna would accompany him. After clinking glasses, Lin Feng dried up the 2 tails of white wine in the wine glass. Shang Yuna naturally didn't do it, but she took a sip. The stimulation of alcohol made her beautiful face blushed. "You can drink slowly, you don't have to follow my rhythm, or you will get drunk soon, and I want you to tell me what happened to you." Lin Feng took a mouthful of vegetables and put it away. When it came to his mouth, he slowly started eating. At this time, he was leisurely and unrestrained, but his heart was not at ease. He still didn't know what happened to Shang Yuna. "I will come to you after dinner. I'll tell you, I drank a big gulp of white wine just now, and it was too spicy." Shang Yuna also started to eat vegetables. This meal was a treat for Lin Feng, so watching Shang Yuna eat vegetables gave him a great sense of accomplishment. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 98. Chapter 102. Even if Shang Yuna always opposed him in the past and always despised him, Lin Feng had to admit that Shang Yuna was a good girl, very charming, temperamental and self-loving. It would be great if Shang Yuna was his girlfriend. Under the stimulation of alcohol, Lin Feng thought of this unrealistic problem again. A person can make the impossible possible through hard work, and Lin Feng doesn't know if there is such a possibility between him and Shang Yuna through his efforts. The act of climbing a high branch with a pointed head is just to get happiness. After all, Shang Yuna is just a girl with an ordinary family and an ordinary job, and she has nothing to do with the rich and powerful. Most of the bottle of white wine let Lin Feng drink some. Shang Yuna was not drunk, but the smell of wine on her body was very strong. The smell of wine mixed with the smell of her skin was very intoxicating, which made Lin Feng want to do something other. After Lin Feng paid the bill, he walked out of the hotel with Shang Yuna and walked on the snow. The cold wind blew on his face. Shang Yuna's mouth showed a helpless and wry smile, and said something. What happened to the people in this world? The ones that should come don't come, the ones that shouldn't come always come. Someone misses you again, and it's someone you don't like, Lin Feng said with a smile. It's more than I don't like it, it's just abominable to the extreme, Shang Yuna said angrily. Who the is that? Lin Feng wondered. But Shang Yuna didn't seem to have any intention of continuing. She looked down at the snow on the ground, and her two slender legs kicked playfully against the snow. She also wanted to make herself feel better, but it was difficult. Do it? When she arrived at Lin Feng's partition room, she saw the walls that were a little yellow in the white interior, and smelled the strong smell of smoke. Shang Yuna sat on the chair that Lin Feng was sitting on and complained, "Wait for your kid to move out. Sometimes you have to paint the walls, and if you don't paint, you can't move. Why did you talk about painting the walls again? If necessary, it's okay for you to ask me to knock down the walls and rebuild them. Say, who cares about you? There is a very abominable man who wants to me. The condition I see is that he will give me 30,000 yuan a month, and I almost vomited at that time. Who is so disgusting?" Lin Feng was angry. Zhang Jijin, the owner of Jinhao Hotel, the hateful man known as the Pao Ye, Zhang Jijin is a very hateful man. He even threatened me that if I couldn't satisfy him, he would make my life unhappy. He also said, if you want to add obstacles to my life, there are ways. Shang Yuna was very aggrieved, tears kept rolling in her eyes, and they might flow out at any time. Sure enough, he is a very difficult person to mess with. No wonder Shang Yuna is so depressed. When it comes to Jinhao Hotel, Lu Xiona has to be mentioned. The chicken who has always wanted to be fucked, Lin Feng has not seen Lu Xiona for a long time. I don't know if she has changed from a chicken to a chicken head, even if it's just a chicken head with a few chickens under her. In the past, Lu Xiona worked as a box princess in the KTV of Jinhao Hotel for a long time. Of course, when she was a box princess, Lu Xiona also appeared. She received a wide range of customers, including migrant workers and men. Rich man. Lu Xiona's ability in that area is very strong and can make men very comfortable. Lin Feng doesn't know how many men Lu Xiona has made comfortable so far. In the past, when Lu Xiona slept with Lin Feng, he mentioned Pao Ye Zhang Jijin, saying that Zhang Jijin was a self-made man. When he was riding a scooter to collect waste, people called him Ban Ye, and when he drove a small truck to deliver food, people called him Cai Ye. When he opened a restaurant, people called him Fan Ye. Now, he has become the owner of a big hotel, with a fortune of over 100 million yuan. If he hears people in the circle calling him Pao Ye, Zhang Jijin will have a great sense of achievement. He struggled for many years to become Pao Ye. If he hears women outside the circle calling him Pao Ye, he will not be very happy. You are not from this circle, why do you call Lao Zi Pao Ye? Most likely you will give that woman a few shots. But in reality, no matter if it is inside or outside the circle, they call him Pao Ye. Even if he is upset, he has to endure it, because his reputation is out. Lu Xiona didn't tell Lin Feng whether Pao Ye gave her a few shots, but she showed her admiration for Pao Ye. Lu Xiona really wanted to become a successful man like Pao Ye by working hard step by step. Lin Feng, why didn't you talk, kid? Looking at your expression, did you frighten Pao Ye? I did frighten Pao Ye. Pao Ye is a very difficult guy, he has money in his hand, and after so many years of business, he must have accumulated a wide range of contacts. Even if I want to help you, rely on me. A person's ability is not the opponent of Pao Ye. Even if I can beat Pao Ye, it is unlikely that I can win Pao Ye's powerful network. If Pao Ye finds someone to repair me, it will be very easy. Big man, you might as well find someone of the same weight, Lin Feng said. Woohoo! Just now, Shang Yuna was only crying, but now she really started crying. She cried very sadly, and cried while crying. Why is AI and what should I do? Shang Yuna really doesn't know what to do. She doesn't have any very powerful people in her circle. Most of them are office workers of the same level as her. They don't have a lot of salary every month, and they have to go to the entertainment venue once. It takes a long time to choose a cost-effective place, and I always feel anxious about money. If I really encounter something, I can hide if I can. If I can't hide, I beg the other party. As for repairs, there are very few. This time I'm facing Master Pao. Even if I told my friends, they would at most sympathize with me, and then give me some ideas that I don't need at all, and they can't help me. But I'm not much better than your other friends. Maybe in your heart, I'm still not them, don't you always say? Lin Feng, what are you, kid? Writer, take a photo of yourself when you pee, you'll know how much you have. You really hold grudges. How long have you been, and you are still turning over the old accounts with me? Put aside our previous grievances first, and you help me deal with Pao Ye first. I always think you have a solution, Shang Yuna said. Does he have a way? Lin Feng didn't know if he had a way, but Shang Yuna said he had a way. Lin Feng lit a cigarette and took a sigh of relief. Among my friends, the most well-connected person is Li Xingguo, the young master of Jinwu Center, but Li Xingguo is not very powerful. There are too many people he dare not provoke, and I guess he doesn't dare to provoke Lord Pao. There's another Black Rose. Don't you and Hey Rose know each other now? How did you know? You rented my house. You can hide this from me. Maybe you and the heroic woman Black Rose have done that, Shang Yuna snorted. Lin Feng was smoking a cigarette, but he almost got choked and looked at Shang Yuna's face in surprise. My beautiful second landlord, you are too flattering me. Do you think a woman like Black Rose can do anything casually? Well, if I really miss her, I'm afraid she will crush my little head. Since you mentioned Black Rose, I might as well tell you that she and I can only be regarded as acquaintances, not as friends. People who are on the road can't use it indiscriminately, otherwise it will be easy to get entangled and make trouble. Black Rose will join forces with Pao Ye to repair us, and at that time, it will be as sad as it is. Shang Yuna was even more scared than before. She said, wait for me, I'll go to the bathroom. It's really helpless, the beauty Shang Yuna is scared to pee. After going to the bathroom, Shang Yuna quickly sat next to Lin Feng again. Then what should I do? Lord Pao asked me to give him an answer tonight. He said that it is a blessing for a woman to be valued by him. Please don't let him down, otherwise he will make my life very dark, and he will be the most annoying. Just an old rascal. But Pao Ye is now qualified to be an old hooligan. He has money and power, so what are you waiting for, Su Hooligan, a young and beautiful woman? Just when Lin Feng was about to call Li Xingguo, Shang Yuna's cell phone rang. It's Master Gun. Don't be afraid, pick it up and see what he says to you, Lin Feng said. You are afraid, how can I not be afraid? I'm not afraid anymore, so you don't have to be afraid anymore, Lin Feng said. Shang Yuna picked it up with a sigh of relief, trying to keep her tone calm. Boss Zhang, it's you again, what do you want? Yuna, you'd better not talk to me in this tone, even if the principal of Beijing Normal University talks to me very politely, let alone you, a little teacher, be my woman, you will be happier in this way, I don't it will affect your marriage. But my boyfriend doesn't agree. You have boyfriend? Yes, Shang Yuna said. What is your boyfriend? What's his name? What does he do? Pao Ye looked very excited. His name is Lin Feng, I don't need to tell you what to do, since I already have a boyfriend you don't need to pester me anymore, anyway, you have money and power, you want to play with women, and some women are willing to let you play, I don't want to, and I beg you to give me a way to live, I'm just a trivial person. Pao Ye didn't listen carefully to what Shang Yuna was saying, but he just heard clearly. Shang Yuna's boyfriend is named Lin Feng, whose identity is unknown. Although Lu Xiona is the princess in the KTV box of Jinhao Hotel, she has almost no chance to talk to Zhang Zhijin, the master of the gun, and she has never mentioned Lin Feng to him. Pao Ye didn't know who Lin Feng was, but he thought Lin Feng was very hateful, and he actually became Shang Yuna's boyfriend. Yuna, it seems that the kid named Lin Feng is by your side. Here I am. Give him the phone, Pao Ye said. Shang Yuna looked at Lin Feng's face and whispered, he wants to talk to you. Lin Feng is speechless. Now Shang Yuna is in trouble, and he has become Shang Yuna's boyfriend again. This fake boyfriend is not good to be AI, but he can't eat a lot of tofu, but he has to be a shield, and the archery people are getting better and better. Lin Feng picked it up and said with a sneer, Boss Zhang, I'm Yun Na's boyfriend Lin Feng, are you a bit too shameless, an old man, I warn you, hit whoever's idea you want. If you hit Yun Na's idea, I'll make you change from master to master. Which one? Crippled and disabled, Lin Feng thought, Pao Ye, you are interesting enough to ask me such a to-be question. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 99. Chapter 103 The consequences of hanging silk anger are serious. Master Pao was very angry, he was clearly not yet 50 years old, but Lin Feng said he was an old man, and Lin Feng even said that he would make him crippled. Could it be that Lin Feng is a very difficult boy, does he have a background? Pao Ye didn't continue talking, he just hung up the phone, which made Lin Feng and Shang Yuna even more uneasy. What's wrong? He hung up, I haven't finished talking yet, but he actually hung up, Lin Feng said depressedly. Did your harsh words just frighten him? If I scare him by just saying a few words, then he's not a gun master, Lin Feng said. In a very luxurious room of Jinhao Hotel, Master Pao was sitting on the sofa. Just now he was drinking tea while talking on the phone, but now he was so angry that he threw the teacup to the ground. At this time, there was only one person beside Pao Ye, who was his advisor, a dry and thin old man in his 60s, called Lao Xiu. The old man has followed Pao Ye for many years. People who don't know the situation can easily think that he is a guy who is waiting to die. In fact, over the years, the old man has indeed given Pao Ye a lot of ideas. Old man, what kind of character do you think Lin Feng will be? Will he be a big man who can call the wind and call the rain? I don't think so. I think he's just a guy who brags to scare people. I guess he's a sling. Hearing the old man say that Lin Feng is a sling, the gunner laughed, his legs like pillars shaking. If Lin Feng is really a sling, it will be interesting, but let's check him first. Master Pao, you have to trust my judgment, he's just a dick, how should you deal with him, just do it? Check it out first. Pao Ye has a domineering side, and naturally he also has a cautious side. If he was a domineering and careless stunned young man, let alone his achievements today, he would have been hacked to death many years ago. When Pao Ye started to send people to check Lin Feng also called Li Xingguo and asked him to meet. Li Xingguo said he would be there within an hour, but Shang Yuna was a little embarrassed. Lin Feng, I don't want to see Li Xingguo, it's too shameless. What I'm thinking about now is not face, but how to deal with Pao Ye, Lin Feng said. I'm in so much pain. Shang Yuna threw herself into Lin Feng's arms. This time, Lin Feng was very unusual. He didn't take the opportunity to touch Shang Yuna's chest, but he felt the outline of Shang Yuna's full chest and the warmth of her graceful body. Just hugging Shang Yuna is already very cool, if you do something else with her, it will be even better. Although he was in trouble, Lin Feng simply thought about it and said with a smile, now you are my girlfriend. It's the same as last time, don't take it too seriously, because you're a fake, Shang Yuna said. This kind of thing has happened once, this is the second time, I don't have to have the third time. Why do I think you like to pretend to be my boyfriend? You're too heartless. If you say that, then I won't pretend to be your boyfriend from now on. Get out of my partition room quickly, Lin Feng said. Shang Yuna is an authentic second landlord, but Lin Feng told her to get out of this partition room. If she hadn't asked Lin Feng, Shang Yuna would have gone mad immediately. After thinking about it, forget it. If she was at such a critical moment, if you get into trouble with Lin Feng, it will be even more chaotic. Shang Yuna had been mad at Lin Feng several times before, but every time she didn't make any profit, but when Lin Feng provoked her, she still wanted to get mad. Li Xingguo arrived and wanted to meet his girlfriend, Zhao Fei, a beautiful woman who had already had that kind of relationship with him, but Zhao Fei is not here now. Now that she has become Li Xingguo's girlfriend, Zhao Fei naturally doesn't have to sell alcohol in entertainment venues. Zhao Fei took this as a talk and told her friends. Those people were very envious of her and found a lot of money. S boyfriend, and he has a bit of power. Those friends were almost all on the same level as Zhao Fei. They all advised Zhao Fei to strike while the iron was hot to quickly improve the temperature with Li Xingguo. It was not enough to just sleep together. They had to put their marriage on the agenda. Now, living in a tens of millions of mansions, driving a luxury car, it is called a beauty in small days. Lin Feng's partition room. When Li Xingguo saw Shang Yuna, he felt a little awkward. Li Xingguo is not a person who likes to hold grudges, so naturally he will not bring up the past little things at this time. At the beginning, Li Xingguo wanted to have a long-term relationship with Shang Yuna. Even if he wanted to get a certificate from Shang Yuna, his father would not object. Although Shang Yuna's job was very ordinary and had a very ordinary income, she was a university teacher after all, and she was a very good teacher. Temperamental beauty. Zhao Fei's situation is different, her education level is not high, and she used to be just a wine girl in an entertainment place. If suddenly one day, he told his father that he wanted to get a certificate with Zhao Fei, his father's nose might be crooked. Li Xingguo simply said hello to Shang Yuna and looked at Lin Feng. You said on the phone that you were in a hurry. It seems to be related to Yuna. AI, have you become Yuna's shield again? You're right, I'm her shield again, and the people who shoot the arrows this time are very powerful. Who? Zhang Jijin, the boss of Jinhao Hotel, Lin Feng said. I go. Li Xingguo's face changed suddenly, not as dashing as before. I'm afraid I'm really in trouble this time. Pao Ye is not easy to mess with. If it's something he values, he will try his best to get it. I'm not familiar with Pao Ye, I can't speak, but if you want to drag me to deal with Pao Ye, I will help you. Do you think that if we join forces, we will be Pao Ye's opponent? Lin Feng said. I think Xian, if it's by fighting, maybe we can bring down Pao Ye's people, but if we fight, we may not be Pao Ye's opponents. Li Xingguo said, I'm not familiar with Pao Ye, but I have heard many people say before that the Pao Ye of the Jinhao Hotel is a good person in network management. He has gone through a lot of storms and waves from Banya to Pao. There are rumors that Pao used to launder money for some high-ranking people. It is estimated that except for those who are in prison or go abroad, these masters have become the relationship between the gun masters. Lin Feng's face became more gloomy. He didn't dare to think about it anymore. This seemed to be a bit too up. He was a writer of online novels. Why did he suddenly confront a heroic character like Pao, to put it bluntly? It's because of women. If Shang Yuna is not a top beauty, then he probably won't have any mood to act as a shield for Shang Yuna. Laozi is a dang silk, beauty makes Laozi quite brave. Li Xingguo was obviously very uncertain. If it wasn't for his friends, he wouldn't provoke Lord Pao at all. Unless Lord Pao rode on his head to bully him, he would be able to confront Lord Pao. Lin Feng felt very sorry in his heart. Even if he became brave again for the beauty of Shang Yuna, there was no reason to pull Li Xingguo to be unlucky together. If he were to compete with someone like Pao, he would be unlucky. Out of town, it really can't be done. He slapped Pao fiercely and ran away, but Li Xingguo is a native of Beijing, and there is a Jinwu center standing there. Xingguo, why don't you just leave it alone? If you need your help in the future, I'll find you again. Dude, I know that you are afraid of hurting me. I'm different from other people. Many people use wine and meat to make friends. I really meet each other's problems, but I make friends with my heart. My friend, even if you encounter a sea of swords and flames, I will go with you. Li Xingguo was a good friend, and Lin Feng felt more and more that Li Xingguo, a very caring guy, was actually a good person. Maybe he was ruthless to the women he played with and dumped. He should even cut 1,000 cuts. But to friends, he is a very iron man. Everyone will have different impressions in the hearts of other people. In some people's hearts, this person is a good person, and in some people's hearts, this person may also be a bad person. If you beat another person for one person, you protect the person you live in thinks you're good, the person you hit thinks you're bad. Lin Feng and Li Xingguo continued to discuss ways to deal with Pao. Shang Yuna became an audience. Although she was not a genius, Shang Yuna was also a very smart person. But this time, facing the entanglement of Pao, she was at a loss. Li Xingguo mentioned the woman He Rose. If He Rose is willing to help, it will not be a problem to deal with Pao. Pao's relationship involves both black and white, but Pao can only be regarded as a gray character, not an authentic Daoist character. Black Rose is different. She is in the underground world and is very powerful, no matter what. Whether to fight for force or fight for relationship, Pao will not be the opponent of Black Rose. This woman, He Rose, is only better than Pao in her way of managing people's connections, and her way of dealing with people is even higher than Pao. If He Rose came forward, she might not need to fight to settle the matter. Being a helper, don't ask Black Rose for help. First of all, she may not really help. Second, even if she helps, there will be other troubles. I am a writer of online novels. I don't have any relatives who can take advantage of the meal, and it's just you friends who think I'm okay from Lin Feng, and I'm willing to help when I encounter something, but I really don't want to deal with people in the underground world. Lin Feng is naturally telling the truth. If he gets entangled with these people in the underground world, he may be able to use their power at some time, but he will be involved in the trouble. Lin Feng does not want to be involved in the underground world in his life, so he afraid of this. Shang Yuna was very moved and very guilty. In front of Li Xingguo, Shang Yuna threw herself into Lin Feng's arms and choked up, "Lin Feng, I'm sorry, it's all my fault, I've caused you trouble again." Lin Feng gently patted Shang Yuna's back to comfort her. "It's nothing. Since you treat me as a friend, I will definitely help you and annoy me. Put down the keyboard, pick up the machete, and kill him. Look, I don't turn cannon master into cannon fodder. Once hanging silk is heroic, it is the spirit of mountains and rivers. Once the hanging silk is heroic, it will be overturned. Lin Feng now has the heart to kill Pao Ye. As long as he meets Pao Ye, he may have the opportunity to kill Pao Ye in an instant, grab his neck and break Pao Ye's throat in an instant. Lin Feng has this confidence. But he wouldn't do it until the last step. In his life, he not only didn't have the heart to be in the underground world, he also didn't have the heart to kill. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi Feng. Chapter 100. Li Xingguo admires Lin Feng's courage, and also feels that Lin Feng and Shang Yuna's drama is getting bigger and bigger. If Lin Feng gets Shang Yuna, he will naturally marry a good wife. She is beautiful and graceful. She has no bad hobbies. If you are local in Beijing, if you really get Shang Yuna, it means that Lin Feng has really taken root in Beijing. But Lin Feng didn't think so far now, because he felt that when he dealt with Pao Ye, Shang Yuna's attitude towards him would change again. Maybe it would be a little better than before, but it wouldn't be so good that it would be shocking to cry. Let him be friends and take off his pants to sleep level M. Lin Feng has a dream in his heart, and he doesn't really want to tell others about this dream. It's almost 10 o'clock at night. Shang Yuna and Li Xingguo were both in Lin Feng's partition room. At this time, Zhao Fei had come back and was eating melon seeds and watching a movie in her partition room. Her expression was blurred and her mood was also blurred. Li Xingguo has left Zhao Fei behind for the time being, and has been thinking about what to say if he really met Master Pao. Lin Feng, you can be sure that Master Pao will call Yun Na tonight. It's not a problem if we just wait like this. If nothing else happens, Master Pao will definitely call Shang Yuna before the early morning. Are you so sure, kid? That's right, because the gun master is on top of the golden bug, Lin Feng said. Li Xingguo laughed. He had been on the gold bug many times, so he knew best how impatient the person on the gold bug was for the woman he wanted to play with. She didn't want to hear the word gold worm, she didn't want to hear the word gold worm. She glared at Lin Feng full of resentment. Looks like you have a lot of experience, AI, have you always been on top of gold bugs before? It's not as frequent as you think, but my gold bugs are also over the top. Others' gold bugs are gold bugs, and my gold bugs are even more gold bugs. Other people's gold bugs can go on their heads, and my gold bugs can even come from the top of my head. Rush out, Lin Feng said. Li Xingguo thought, if your golden bug rushes out from the top of your head, isn't it a shot? But he didn't have the embarrassment to tell his thoughts in front of Shang Yuna, otherwise it would be Shang Yuna, and it could not be ruled out that Lin Feng's slap would hit him on the head. Is there chess? Li Xingguo asked. No. Can your kid play chess? Not only can I know, but my level is also good. At least I have a fight with my dad, who is not a bad chess player, Lin Feng said with a smile. It would be great if you had chess here. While playing chess, I might think of a better way to deal with Pao Ye, Li Xingguo said. Lin Feng thinks it's time to go out for a walk. Maybe Pao Ye has a decent person waiting nearby. If he encounters one, he'll have a meal first. Although hitting a dog depends on the owner, there is a big difference between hitting the dog and hitting the owner. If the dog is hit, the owner may understand, but if the owner is hit, it's another matter. Yuna, don't go out, I'm going out with Xingguo. I'm going out too, Shang Yuna said. Can you be nicer? I don't want to be good, Shang Yuna said. Lin Feng and Li Xingguo walked out with Shang Yuna. On the road, Lin Feng and Li Xingguo walked on both sides of Shang Yuna, like her left and right. Shang Yuna's body has an elegant temperament and a temperament, but she does not have the temperament of a queen, but it is undeniable that Shang Yuna's temperament makes many men fascinated. There was an Audi off-road vehicle not far away. Both Lin Feng and Li Xingguo looked at the car. Lin Feng said, I think there is something wrong with that car. I don't think it's right either. Maybe it's from Master Pao. Wait and see, Li Xingguo said, let's go slower. The three of them slowed down, but they were getting closer and closer to the Audi off-road vehicle. The front and rear doors were opened, and a total of 5 people came down. Among them, Li Xingguo, who took the lead, knew him. It was Zhao Weigang, one of Pao Ye's gold medal fighters, known as Zaquan Zhao. Zhao Weigang is in his 30s, with a height of nearly 180, dark complexion, strong physique, small eyes, and a high nose bridge. A slight smile will make his face look hideous. I wonder if the women who have slept with him are frightened by him. A master of boxing, he hits people very sharply. He has been following Zhang Jijin, the master of the cannon, for some years, and he has been fighting all the way. Once Zhaquan Zhao came forward, he would have to rely on his fists to speak. Seeing those 5 people approaching, Lin Feng was ready to make a move, but Li Xingguo laughed and walked towards Zhao Weigang with a laziness. Zhaquan Zhao, it's you Master Ai Pao who asked you to do so. Come out, isn't it a little exciting? What a big deal. Look, can we sit down and talk? Zaquan Zhao smiled lightly, and it was already very ferocious. Shang Yuna couldn't look at this kind of person, otherwise she would have nightmares, but Zaquan Zhao deliberately swept her face, and then turned towards Li Xingguo. Look, who am I supposed to be? It turns out to be the eldest young master of Jinwu Center. I'm afraid you can't talk about this matter. It's not that I don't give you face, it's that Master Pao likes this little girl Shang Yuna too much. Don't say yes, you are in the early stage. Even if your father comes over, it will not work. Zhaquan Zhao is not ordinary sharp. Not only did he not give Li Xingguo face, but also Li Xingguo's face was also refuted. Li Xingguo couldn't laugh anymore, his face was ashen, and he suddenly had the will to do it. Zaquan Zhao looked at Lin Feng's face and said with a sneer, are you the one who wants to turn Master Cannon into Master Cannon? I am Lin Feng. You're so rude. Do you know how to write dead characters, Zaquan Zhao Dao? Lin Feng didn't say any more. He kicked Zaquan Zhao's face with a high kick, and Zaquan Zhao quickly avoided with a shocked expression on his face. Lin Feng's fist arrived again, and it was a slamming blow against Zaquan Zhao's chest. Zhaquan Zhao pushed aside Lin Feng's fist and quickly attacked Lin Feng with his punches. Zhaquan was very fierce, but he punched out more than 10 punches. Sweep the legs or sweep the legs. Lin Feng's legs were as fast as lightning, and they moved like lightning. They were circling like a long dragon for a while, and the golden snake danced wildly, shrouding Zhaquan Zhao, leaving him only able to dodge and block, but he didn't have the ability to fight back. During the fight between Lin Feng and Zhaquan Zhao, Li Xingguo had already taken care of all the 4 people that Zhaquan Zhao brought. 2 of the 4 people had some kung fu skills, and the other 2 came out of the street. Yes, the 4 of them will naturally not be the opponent of Sanda Master Li Xingguo. When Lin Feng and Zhaquan Zhao fought for 3 minutes, Lin Feng kicked Zhaquan Zhao's chest with his sweeping leg, and Zhaquan Zhao flew out and fell out. It would not be so easy to stand up and fight Lin Feng again. Lin Feng took a punch in the face, blood came from the corner of his mouth, and he was kicked on his stomach. It hurt a bit, but he could bear it. Lin Feng rushed over and stepped on Zhaquan Zhao's stomach with one foot. His body immediately hooked up, his face was hideous, and there was fear in his eyes. It turns out that he is not the opponent of this hanging silk, so Zaquan Zhao is very confused, and at the same time, Lin Feng will ruthlessly destroy him, then he will not even have the capital to eat in the future. Zhaquan Zhao, if I hadn't saved you a favor just now, you'd already be disabled. I could kick your Tianling guy up several meters with one kick, and I could also break your arms and legs. I'll tell Pao Ye when I go back. I treat him as a character, so I save face for his people. If he gets an inch, I will blow up the Jinhao Hotel and take his nest, Lin Feng said coldly. I'll tell Pao Ye what you said. Zhaquan Zhao's voice was no longer as domineering as before. Lin Feng raised his feet, smiled at Zhaquan Zhao, and looked at Shang Yuna again. Go, keep walking. Oh. Shang Yuna was deeply shocked by Lin Feng's performance just now. Even the eyes she looked at Lin Feng changed. Since Lin Feng said she wanted to continue shopping, she could only follow in Lin Feng's footsteps, but Lin Feng was following her feelings. Li Xingguo was naturally convinced of Lin Feng's right and wrong, and said with a smile, "Dude, your kung fu is really high, especially your leg skills. It's too shocking. You don't have to struggle at all to fight Zhao Quan. You didn't see that the corners of my mouth are bleeding. My stomach is still hurting. From the bottom of my heart, I admit that Zhaquan Zhao is a tough character who can fight very well," Lin Feng said. "Originally, I didn't have a clear destination, so I didn't go very far. I bought 3 side dishes from a nearby restaurant and a dozen beers from a nearby convenience store." The 3 of Lin Feng returned to the partition room. Li Xingguo drank 3 beers from a disposable cup, took a few bites of the side dishes, and went out. He went to find Zhao Fei, and Lin Feng and Shang Yuna continued to clink glasses. "Come on, touch one. Come on, touch one more." The words between them are very simple. Shang Yuna seems to be drinking a lot more than usual. Now she has almost 3 bottles of beer, but she has no intention of getting drunk at all. After seeing Zhao Fei, Li Xingguo rolled onto the bed with a passionate kiss after chatting for a while, and soon made a creaking sound. Dainan was also at. She knew that there were people in Lin Feng's room, and that it was Shang Yuna and Li Xingguo, so she didn't go to join in the fun. Dainan couldn't sit still in the partition room, and walked out to the narrow corridor. When she walked near Zhao Fei's partition room, she heard the sound of gasping and body banging, as well as the creaking sound of the inferior bed. Presumably it was Li Xingguo who was pushing Zhao Fei again. Dainan only needs Zhao Fei to change completely after the real pleasure. Even if Zhao Fei doesn't recognize her as a friend in the future, it's fine. If this is the case, Dainan can do it no matter how difficult it is. Ask for Zhao Fei's head. She was drinking very fast. Just now, Shang Yuna was really bold, as if she was a howling woman, but now her beautiful face has turned red, and even her breathing is a little uneven, and she may get drunk at any time. "Yuna, stop drinking, I'm afraid you'll get drunk." I'm drunk in your partition room, you can do whatever you want with me," Shang Yuna said. "It's not like that," Lin Feng said. "You are already on top of the golden bug." Shang Yuna's hot body swayed and she showed a very charming smile. Stimulated by alcohol and the sultry gestures of beautiful women, Lin Feng was very impulsive and wanted to push Shang Yuna onto the bed to do something hot, but what about after doing it? Shang Yuna would definitely be in pain, and he couldn't be any better. Sometimes, in the face of special people, it's not better to do it than not to do it, Lin Feng said. "I'll take you home. I don't want to go back, I want to sleep with you tonight. When your brain is flooded, I just help you repair others. You have to give me your body. This is not your style." Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 101. Chapter 105. The Beat of the Beating Heart. Lin Feng pulled Shang Yuna up. Shang Yuna snorted lightly and threw herself into Lin Feng's arms. Lin Feng felt the softness of Shang Yuna's plump and the heat of her graceful body. After kissing for a few minutes, Lin Feng tasted Shang Yuna's red lips attentively, then walked out with her arms around her waist. With Shang Yuna drinking like this, Lin Feng definitely doesn't worry that she will go home alone. If the taxi driver is malicious, he may drive the car to a far and secluded place regardless of the gas price, and take a shower or not. "Take that thing out." Lin Feng helped Shang Yuna to get into a taxi, which was still a taxi star. The driver was a man in his 50s. He was very simple and honest. He spoke very well. Outside the community, Lin Feng helped Shang Yun and got out of the car and walked into the community. Shang Yunjuan knew that Shang Yuna was with Lin Feng, and it seemed that there was also Li Xingguo from the Jinwu Center, whose purpose was to deal with Zhang Jijin, the master of artillery. Shang Yunjuan is very good, but she has nothing to do. She is a small boss of a graphic production center. Her only advantage is that she is very charming and moist, but she will definitely not use her charm to deal with Pao yet. Hearing the doorbell, Shang Yunjuan quickly ran back to open the door, and saw Lin Feng supporting Shang Yuna back. Both of them smelled of alcohol. Shang Yunjuan complained, "Lin Feng, you can do it, you drink, that's it, you made my sister drink so much wine." In her state at the time, she had to drink, Lin Feng said. Shang Yunjuan supported Shang Yuna and put her on the bed in the bedroom. What Fashion Yunjuan heard was a very intoxicated voice from Shang Yuna's mouth, "Lin Feng, thank you, Lin Feng, you really are man, Lin Feng, I want to give it to you." Hearing the last sentence, Shang Yunjuan's cold hair stood up. The little girl actually wanted to give it to Lin Feng. Shang Yunjuan said anxiously, "Look at you, you are still an elegant and beautiful teacher. What are you drinking like? You don't even know who you are. You really don't make me worry." Shang Yuna was in a drunken confusion and didn't understand what Shang Yunjuan said, but subconsciously, she knew that Shang Yunjuan was talking to her, so she went even more outrageous, "Sister, you asked Lin Feng to come over, let me forget, from now on I will be his man, I will marry him, I will give birth to him, I will not fish for a golden tortoise in law." If it wasn't for Shang Yuna being drunk, Shang Yunjuan would have to slap her twice. What is she saying? Sleep your sleep. Shang Yunjuan walked out angrily. She didn't even have the heart to pour water for Shang Yuna. She sat down beside Lin Feng angrily. Shang Yunjuan's fist hit Lin Feng's arm with great force, and said coldly, "You bastard, what have you done to my sister? In my partition room, I did to your sister what I have done to you many times, and I found that both of your sisters are superb," Lin Feng said. Shang Yunjuan suddenly felt the darkness, raised her right hand and swiped at Lin Feng's face. Lin Feng grabbed her wrist and sneered, "Sister Shang, why are you so excited? You are still a rich life experience. Woman, didn't you hear that I was joking just now? I'm leaving, you take good care of Yun Na." Lin Feng is gone. Shang Yunjuan was at a loss, and soon went to Shang Yuna's room again. This time, she went over with water. She fed her some water first, and then wiped her forehead with a towel. This method did not cure the hangover, but is a delicate love. When Lin Feng returned to the partition room, Li Xingguo was sitting on a chair smoking a cigarette. Just now, Li Xingguo and Zhao Fei scored twice, but after he was comfortable, he seemed very anxious. It was not about the future of him and Zhao Fei, but Lin Feng who was here. Conflict with Pao Ye Zhangjijin. "Xingguo, you go back first, I don't think Master Pao will do anything tonight," Lin Feng said. "That's fine, I'll go first, let me know at any time if anything happens. If Master Pao still wants to fight, I'll pull him from the Jinwu Center to fight with him," Li Xingguo said. Lin Feng's lips trembled for a moment, but he didn't say anything. After he sent Li Xingguo out, he took a shower and sat on the chair. Very angry, he is impulsive. Li Xingguo moved him, Pao Ye made him angry, Shang Yuna made him impulsive, such a complicated taste made him roar. Maybe his roar was too loud, even Dainan heard it. Lin Feng soon heard the knock on the door, and only then did he realize that his roar just now had disturbed the people outside. If a hypocritical neighbor came to remind him not to shout and shout, he would endure it and would not take it lightly. Neighbors lose their temper. When he opened the door and saw Dainan, Lin Feng was relieved and said with a smile, "Your room was very quiet just now, there was no faint singing, I thought you were sleeping." "I haven't slept yet. My routine is similar to yours." Dainan walked in wearing a light night dress, and the fragrance floated with her footsteps, as if Lin Feng's room was full of lilies. Dinan used to be a lily, but now she is no longer, but she still likes to use lily-smelling perfume. Dinan sat on the chair, hesitated for a moment, and said, "This time the challenger is very difficult to deal with." Lin Feng thought it was to relieve the depression in his heart. He told her all about the situation while chatting, but Dinan's opinion made Lin Feng very distressed. Dinan said, "Ask Hey Rose for help." "Why did you also think of black roses?" "Because she can help you." "What about after she helps me?" Lin Feng said. Dinan was silent because she didn't know how Hey Rose positioned Lin Feng in her heart. Lin Feng is not rushing to the choo-choo. Hey Rose has the heart to win over him. It is simply because of his very good kung fu. He can be a heavyweight cannon fodder at a critical moment. Hey Rose definitely does not want him to be a little man. Although Lin Feng doesn't know Black Rose very well, he can be sure that the charming and intoxicated Black Rose is definitely not a casual woman, even if Hey Rose has had with certain characters in order to achieve a certain purpose in the process of mixing the bed, but Black Rose will definitely not do that kind of thing with him easily for sex. If he gets too close to Hey Rose, maybe one day, Hey Rose will call him into a luxurious room and say to him in a very mysterious tone, "Lin Feng, help me kill someone." Since living in the partition room, Lin Feng has encountered a lot of things. He has dealt with people and said harsh words, but after all, he is a person who knows how to protect himself. He doesn't want others to hurt him, nor does he want to kill anyone. When someone steps on him, he doesn't feel pain, and when someone scolds him, he doesn't hear it, but if someone rides on his neck and shits, he will punch and kick. He lives, others live, all live well. "Dinan, what do you think will happen if I go to Lord Pao now?" Lin Feng said. "Don't be crazy. Even if Pao Ye will treat you as a hero, even if Pao Ye will look at you with admiration, he will not let you go. Even if you are very good at fighting, you can't rush out when you arrive at the Jinhao Hotel alone. Maybe you will be, oh, Lin Feng, you can't be impulsive, you sleep with your arms around me." Dinan's words took a big turning point. He wanted Lin Feng to sleep with her arms around her. "Didn't you remind me before that even if you eat your tofu, you have to eat it in moderation and don't cross the line? What's wrong with you now? Did the smell of alcohol on my body irritate you too? I just think, if you put your arms around me to sleep, you won't have to go anywhere, and you won't have the heart to fight with Pao Ye." Dinan's eyes became wet. Lin Feng thought of Bai Shan, the woman who had no contact with him since she went to Guangzhou. In this era, Nan's tenderness and her moist eyes are too similar to Bai Shan's back then. Bai Shan was Lin Feng's first woman. When Bai Shan gave him it, she was still a first girl, and he was still a first girl at the time. He exercised against Bai Shan's first girl body, and ended the first boy's relationship comfortably at the same time. Bai Shan was in pain and bleeding, and he made Bai Shan happy many times after that. "Bai Shan, maybe you have a good life in Guangzhou, maybe you have found a stable job and are about to marry a man I haven't met yet. Maybe you are living a kind of real life that belongs to you life instead of continuing to be a lover to a man." Lin Feng's heart hurts a bit, and the feeling is a bit like angina pectoris. Fortunately, there is no problem with his heart. He has a healthy and proud heart. When he is exercising vigorously or excited, his heart will beat fast, and when he is calm or soothing, his heart will be soothing. He and his heart are lifelong best friends. Lin Feng's urge to find Pao Ye to take his life is very strong, almost twice a minute, suddenly angry again. Lin Feng is also not sure. When he gets angry so many times, he will run out like an angry tiger, rush to the Jinhao Hotel and slash and kill. When he sees Pao Ye, he swipes his legs and kicks Pao Ye head. "Sleeping with your arms around me," Dinan said. Lin Feng didn't continue to say anything, stared at Dinan's beautiful face for a few seconds, then picked her up and rolled onto the bed. Dinan felt Lin Feng's tall and straight. If Lin Feng wanted to rush into her body, she would not stop her. As long as let Lin Feng not do stupid things tonight, she is willing to do stupid things. Lin Feng didn't take the opportunity to give Dinan a kiss. After a long kiss, Lin Feng's head touched Dinan's chest. Maybe because Dinan's chest was too full and soft, Lin Feng fell asleep quickly. There is fire in his dream, fighting in his dream, and mechanical keyboard in his dream. He dreamed of a mansion, and a mysterious voice said that this mansion belonged to him. He dreamed of a luxury car, and a mysterious voice said that this luxury car was his. He dreamed of a beautiful woman, and a mysterious voice said that this beautiful woman was his. When Lin Feng hugged Dinan's slender and full body and fell into a blurred dream, Pao Ye was very angry. Pao Ye had already checked it out. Lin Feng is a sling with no background. He didn't even know which university Lin Feng graduated from. I have found out where my hometown is. But it's just such a hanging wire that is challenging him. But it was just such a dangxi that Chaquan and Zhao were trained.